Good morning, everybody. How's it going? This is Ryan from Breakout. I just want to make this quick video going over deliverability for cold email. I know it's been a bit of a focal point for a lot of people. A lot of people have been struggling with it recently. There's kind of been some crackdowns with Google, with Microsoft. It hasn't been easy lately, and so I just have some sort of surface level, just kind of some general principles that you want to make sure that you're following. This isn't going to be anything too in depth, but definitely still stuff that you like must have. And if you don't have this, then you're basically ruining all your chances of finding any sort of success with cold email. Let's just talk about some kind of basic stuff here. So this is how to set up a bulletproof email system and ensure crystal clear blue ocean deliverability. Let's do it. So to start, right, let's talk about like the importance of this. So why is deliverability best practices important? Why can't I just send hundreds of emails from a few domains and just like hope for the best? It's not a big deal, right? The answer to this is extremely simple. Because nobody will ever see your message. Nobody will ever see your emails. Your amazing product and service that you and your team spend hours and thousands of dollars on to perfect, your well thought out, scripts and messages and things you've been building, it will genuinely be for absolutely nothing because nobody will ever see it because your message will be in the spam folder of the thousands of people that you reach out to. It is literally that simple. Never to be seen, never to be turned into interested replies, sales calls, or new revenue for you and your business. So let's talk about everything you need to set up an email system from complete scratch, to do it safely, to do it properly, so that you don't run into this problem. So to start, uh, this should be general knowledge, right? To build a solid cold email infrastructure, you need domains and email accounts to send from. What a shocker, right? Okay, so the two best providers to get these from are Google Workspace or Microsoft 365 for the email accounts, and GoDaddy or Porkbun for the actual domains. Do not buy anything from any other provider, or if you do, you're just doing so at your own risk. Like you can probably penny pinch a little bit on using some cheaper kind of lesser known providers or not using these two right here, but it's just not worth it because those domains, those emails will probably be burnt. They will probably become worthless in a few months. It's not worth your time. So just just don't. Okay, just don't do that. But why can't I just send emails from our company main domain? I mean, you already have a main domain for your website, you probably have a bunch of people, your employees on it. Why can't you just do that? This is because although we do our very best to follow best practices, there's always still a super small risk that Google or Microsoft flags our email accounts or our domains for whatever reason. There could be a million different things. But if you're sending from your main account, with all of your company data where everything is hosted on, you're simply just asking for bad things to happen. So what this means is that if, I am Steve Jobs and I'm sending my emails from apple.com, if something happens with that domain, everything and everybody that has an apple.com domain gets screwed with, which you do not want. It's just miserable. So because of this, you want to buy, this is kind of on the lower amount, but anywhere from 10 to 50 domains and add 2 emails on every single domain that you buy. So you can visualize the process kind of looking like this. So you have one domain, then you have one email and the other email on that domain. And you can spread this out across quite literally as many as you want, depending on your budget, depending on, how much you're putting into this, as many as you want. So like I was kind of saying, let's say we're getting ready to run outbound campaigns for Apple. Okay. We'd make domains like tryapple.com, goapple.com, bestapple.com, and we would make email accounts on all of these, like Steve at tryapple.com, and then Steve Jobs at tryapple.com, etc. You spread this out across as many as you want. Then once you have anywhere from 10 to 50, 100 secondary domains built, you redirect these to your main domain so that if somebody clicks on tryapple.com, it redirects them to your actual site, which is apple.com. So you utilize a system like this to spread out all of your sending, but you do so safely and it all redirects to your main site. So you don't have to worry about separate landing pages or websites or anything like that. So that shouldn't be a problem. Now, this allows you to space out your sending over a bunch of domains, and it just gives you the best possible chances of not getting in trouble with Outlook, with Google, to find the best success with email outbound. Now, to actually, go ahead and do this and to buy this, I have a guide later that you can follow that goes step by step over this. It's pretty simple. Now, let's move on to probably the worst part about this, which is DNS records. Okay, let's be super transparent with ourselves here. This part of email setup absolutely sucks. Nobody enjoys this, no matter what you say. But DNS doing it properly is a lot like insurance, right? Do you like paying for insurance? Probably not. But will it come to just save you time and time again when you really need it? Yeah, it does. So this is a pretty intricate process. So rather than explain every single step to you and why, I'll just use the guide that I use that pretty much gives me 99% cleanness with my deliverability. It's pretty dead simple. It's right here. It step by step. I have this document in the description. But basically, what you're doing in DNS and kind of why you do it is you're adding a whole bunch of records onto these domains that you're buying, like DMARCs, DKIMs, SPFs, to each of these domains you've just recently bought. Now, without getting too technical, what this does is it just adds a layer of protection to the email accounts that you're sending things from. So all that these records do, it's just telling Microsoft and Google, hey guys, don't worry about us. We're following all the rules. We're a real email account. We're not some robot sending spam messages to people. That's basically all that adding correct DNS records does for you. So everything that you need is literally in this guide right here. Again, will be in the description of this video. Just follow it. Just follow it. Okay. It might suck. Just follow it. Um, it might suck, but having campaigns that all end in spam, I promise you, is a whole lot worse. So just do it. It's pretty simple. Now, let's get into actual email sending, right? This is probably the aspect of outbound that has changed the most in the last few months and the last few years, right? So before we talk about sending volume, let's talk about warming up emails. So you, under any circumstance, must warm up your accounts before you send outbound to anybody at any volume. But what does warming up actually mean? So when you set accounts to be warmed up, the sending platform that you use will send in reply with fake automated messages to these email accounts that you just bought and set up. So the reason that it does this is so that it doesn't look suspicious to Microsoft or Google. So the thought process behind this and behind warming up emails is that if you just buy 10 domains and you buy, 20 accounts in total across those, and you just start blasting emails to people, Google or Microsoft will super quickly flag that as these people are obviously doing cold email, which is not illegal, but it's just kind of frowned upon. I don't know. And what warming up does is it just, again, you're telling these people at Microsoft or Google that you're a normal person and that these fake automated messages that are going back and forth are just regular conversations that you're having with your coworkers, with your friends, whatever it is, and it's not being used for cold outreach because the people that just ridiculously spam have kind of ruined the perception of cold outbound for a lot of people and for kind of big companies and sending platforms like this. So the easiest way to warm up your inboxes is to use a sending tool that already has warm up installed on their platform. Like, I know there's some separate tools that you can use. I would just use one of these. My favorite is smartly.ai. It's absolutely perfect. And then if you don't want to use that for some reason, you can use Instantly AI. Pretty much the same thing. They're both great. And they all have warm up installed on their system that it does this for you for the first 14 days. Moving on to how much you can send, right? There's no one size fits all for how many you should be sending from each of your accounts, but what I recommend and what we implement for ourselves and all of our clients, once you have everything warmed up, right, you want to send probably 25 emails a day per account going outbound to leads, but you still want to have 25 messages per day of your warm up, um, even when you are sending outbound. So you always want to have warm up on. You don't ever want to turn that off. There's absolutely no point to. And you can spread out your sending 50 total, 25 going to actual leads, going to people, and then 25 on warm up. So now, if you do some math, if you spread out this sending, let's say you bought 20 domains, you have 40 accounts on those domains times 25 emails per account, you can be sending about 1,000 emails a day, which is solid, right? So bouncing 25 emails across these domains that you send from, you should be safe. Like, as long as you're following best practices, I'll get to some other things below this that you should be doing as well, but you should be okay. And again, when in doubt, it's best to just have a lot of accounts to send from at lower volumes, knowing that that's best for your deliverability, than having a few accounts sending 50 to 100 emails a day, where it's almost guaranteed that you're going to run into some kind of problem. It's just do it, okay? Just buy them, just I promise you it will pay off in the future. Now, moving on to some kind of smaller tips and tricks. So I would say those three things are probably the main pillars to make sure that your deliverability is rock solid. There's a few other things that you should do to make sure that you're staying safe from these sending providers. The first one being don't track the open rates of your mail. Now, what? This makes no sense. How can I not track the open rates and see who's opened my mail and who hasn't? Isn't that important? It's really not. It's really not, because tracking open rates actually does nothing for your campaign and can kind of be a big false positive or a false negative on the success of your mail, right? The main reason that we don't track opens is because it hurts your deliverability a lot. So the way that these softwares track if an email has been opened or not is through what is called a pixel, right? Now, a pixel is, I don't know exactly how to explain it, something that gets sent with your email and can be seen and is seen as a link. And you don't want to ever have, links, pictures, videos, anything like that other than simply plain text in the first outbound mail that you send. So you do not want to have tracking opens on this, because it does the same thing. It hurts your deliverability. You just don't want to do it. So because of that, open tracking falls into this bucket of being a link, so we don't track those. Okay. And if you want to read more and make sure I'm not just talking nonsense, I just found this article which kind of confirms that belief. The second thing, a bit of a kind of cool thing, is what's called syntax or spin tax. I don't know exactly which one. It's another way of telling your sending provider that you're not being a bad guy, you're being safe, right? So what syntax does is it randomizes the phrases that you're sending to make every email as unique as humanly possible. So for a quick example, right, if we use syntax for the phrase right here, which is hey, hi, or hello, John, what it does is it will split up three different emails, sending the first one saying hey, the second one saying hi, and the third one saying hello. So it will look in an actual mail like this: hey John, hi John, hello John. So because you can do this for literally anything you want, you can make the syntax as extreme as you want, which does a lot for helping deliverability by making each email unique, right? So this does a lot to tell Google, to tell Microsoft that you're not doing this through some massive automated tool, even though we are. So here's an example of a full email using syntax, and you can get pretty crazy with this, right? Like, hey, hi, hello, John. I thought this may be relevant to you and your team. I've been talking with, blah, blah, blah. And you can use it for as much as you want. And when used correctly, it can be huge for making every email unique and helping boost deliverability just that much more, right? So to conclude, although ensuring deliverability can be kind of boring, right? It's like you don't want to set up the DNS records. You don't want to do this. Oh, it seems like overkill. Do not neglect this. You can have the best product in the world, the best pitch in the world, but it will never be effective if nobody ever sees it. A bad email that lands in the inbox always beats a great email in the spam folder every day of the week. Follow best practices. Just don't be stupid. Okay. It's not that hard, but it's easy to neglect or think that it's not important when it's not. If you want to check out a bit more of some stuff that we have, this is a training doc going over email strategy that we're going to be using all of 2024. This is a really cool email strategy. I'm calling it the Batman and Robin strategy. Check out this video here. This document is in the description. And if you want to scale your outbound to increase your lead flow 50% better than your current results, guaranteed, you can go right here. My name is Ryan. Hope this helped. Peace, guys.